Hello, you are watching Shalom World News. I'm Rudy McLennan coming to you from Glasgow, Scotland. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. 33 Republican members of the US Congress introduced legislation to prohibit federal, state and local government and private organizations from using federal tax dollars to expose children under the age of 10 to sexually explicit material. The legislation, led by House Republican Conference Vice Chairman Mike Johnson, allows parents to file a lawsuit against any public or private entity that uses federal dollars to expose their young children to sexually explicit materials or programs. Any organisation that violates the law more than once in a 5-year period would lose access to federal funds for 3 years. The Stop the Sexualization of Children Act of 2022 prohibits the use of federal funds to develop, implement, facilitate or fund any sexually oriented program, event or literature for children under the age of 10. A Catholic bishop and 2 priests are being held at the notorious Adi Abieto prison in the nation of Eritrea in the Horn of Africa. They are Abuna Fikramariam Hagos of the Sengeneti Eparchy, belonging to the Eritrean Catholic Church of the Alexandrian tradition, Father Mitrtab Stephanos of St. Michael's Church, and Capuchin friar Father Abraham, who were all detained without being given any reasons. The Eritrean regime arrested the bishop on October the 15th at the international airport in the capital Asmara. He was arrested by security agents when he returned to the former Italian colony after a trip to Europe. Bishop Fikramariam invited the ire of the authorities as he publicly spoke out against Eritrea's involvement in the Tigray war in neighbouring Ethiopia. He had also warned the faithful not to take advantage of the goods looted by the army from Tigray. The Eritrean government is yet to comment on the arrest of the bishop. Bishop Mario Dorsonville, the auxiliary bishop of Washington in the USA, has observed how recent responses to migrants show the troubling convergence of the broken immigration system and political divisions. The chairman of the US Conference of Catholic Bishops Committee on Migration, Bishop Dorsonville, issued a reflection on the Church's enduring commitment to comprehensive immigration reform and welcoming strangers as part of its unwavering defence of human life. This corresponds with the ongoing celebration of Respect Life Month, during which the Church in the United States invites the faithful to consider why every human being is valuable. Before concluding his reflection, the bishop affirmed, whether Afghan, Ukrainian or Venezuelan, dreamer or undocumented farm worker, asylum seeker, migrant or refugee, all are imbued by God with an inviolable dignity. A British pro-life outfit has decried lawmakers' support to establish buffer zones around abortion centres in England and in Wales. The Society for the Protection of the Unborn Child, the largest and oldest pro-life outfit in Britain, has slammed a vote by members of the House of Commons favouring buffer zones. In a vote earlier this week, 297 members supported the addition of Clause 11 to a public order bill, while 110 opposed it. The proposed law would make it a crime to harass, hinder or interfere with any woman visiting an abortion clinic. If protesters violate this, they may end up in jail for 6 months on the first offence or 2 years for further crimes. The buffer zones under the amendment, introduced by Labour Member of Parliament Stella Creasy, apply to an area within 150 metres of an abortion clinic. Denouncing the action as an outrageous assault on civil liberties, SPUC declared their protest against the policy. In a similar move, an English council has prohibited making the sign of the cross and prayer in public spaces near abortion clinics. Bourne, Christchurch and Poole Council in southern England has established a so-called safe zone around abortion clinics marked with a red line. Pro-lifers are not supposed to cross it to pray in the vicinity of the abortion centres. Anyone found crossing the line, reciting scripture, dousing holy water or making the sign of the cross will be slapped with a fine of £100 or possible court judgment. The council stated in a press release on October the 11th that the choice to enforce a public spaces protection order was made after consulting the general public. According to the council's press release, 75% of over 2,000 respondents agreed with the implementation of the order, while only 24% disagreed. The order came into effect on October the 13th and is valid for 3 years. United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has intensified calls for armed action to help long-suffering Haiti. He termed the rapidly deteriorating situation in the Caribbean nation as nightmarish. Mr. Guterres said the armed option is a must to loosen the grip of street gangs who are blockading the fuel terminal in the Latin American island nation's capital of Port-au-Prince. The United States and Mexico are preparing a UN resolution to empower a non-UN mission led by a country near Haiti. This was discussed at an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council. There have been widespread protests demanding the resignation of Haiti's Prime Minister Ariel Henry. On the other hand, Mr. Henry appealed for international intervention on October the 7th. However, this was opposed by many Haitians who insist the people of the country and not outsiders must determine the future of the nation. Reversing a decision made by the previous administration, Australia has announced that it no longer recognises Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. In a statement, Australian Foreign Minister Penny Wong stated that the government would reaffirm Australia's long-standing position that Jerusalem is an issue that should be peacefully resolved by Israel and by Palestine. Wong further added that the Australian embassy would continue to be in Tel Aviv. Israelis and Palestinians claim Jerusalem as the capital city, while most of the international community does not. However, in 2018, the Conservative Australian government under Prime Minister Scott Morrison adopted then US President Donald Trump's policy, recognising West Jerusalem as Israel's capital. The action resulted in a political reaction in Australia and strained its relations with neighbouring Muslim-majority Indonesia. The rector of the internationally renowned Marian Shrine of Fatima in Portugal has announced that the cause for the beatification of Sister Lucia dos Santos, the eldest of the three visionaries who saw the Blessed Virgin in 1917, is one step away from beatification. It was on October the 13th, the anniversary of the last apparition, that Rector Father Carlos Cabecinas made the announcement. Postulators for the cause of Sister Lucia, who died as a Carmelite nun at the age of 97, have submitted documents regarding her heroic virtues and other testimonies to the Vatican. A group of 9 theologians attached to the dicastery for the causes of the saints will examine the relevant documents. If the proof of her heroic virtue is approved by the Holy See, the Holy Father can pave the way for Sister Lucia de Jesus dos Santos to be declared venerable by decree. Korean church officials have confirmed that a statue of the first Korean martyr priest, St. Andrew Kim Tae-gon, will be installed outside St. Peter's Basilica in connection with his 200th birthday, as Pope Francis agreed with the installation proposal from Archbishop Lazaro Hyung-sik-yu of Daejeon, who is also the prefect of the Vatican's dicastery for the clergy. Installation work is underway. It is being prepared in Carrara marble by the famous Korean sculptor Han Jin-seop. The statue is estimated to weigh around 40 tons, though the installation date and the budget are yet to be disclosed by the Bishops' Conference of South Korea. An Irish professional soccer player has sought action from English sports authorities as he claims to have experienced anti-Catholic and racist slurs during a match in Sunderland. Wigan Athletic player James McLean criticised the governing authorities, the Football Association and the English Football League. In Saturday's match between the sides, McLean reported crowd members at the Stadium of Light chanting anti-Irish and anti-Catholic slogans. As a then Sunderland player, McLean previously refused to wear the Remembrance Day poppy on his shirt, prompting anger in his direction. In an Instagram post, he posted a video of the chant and stated that the Football Association remained idle without doing anything to tackle the abuse. According to the statistics of Kick It Out, a campaign to stop discrimination in soccer, so far 70 instances of abuse have been reported in the sport in England in the last season. A Nigerian Archbishop has urged the nation's political and traditional leaders to take prayer advice from the Old Testament kings and to pray for civilians. Archbishop of Abuja, Ignatius Kaigama, put forth the need for prayer during his homily on Sunday, October the 16th, at St. Andrew's New Kutunku chaplaincy of his metropolitan see. The prelate stressed the need for prayer against the backdrop of the upcoming national elections, scheduled for February the 25th. Archbishop Kaigama, who is a critic of the government, has urged civilians to vote for those who do good for the country. He had warned against politicians buying and selling votes many times, while noting that priests had the duty to guide the lay faithful. The West African nation is undergoing a saga of crises, including internal security problems such as banditry, terrorism, and kidnappings for ransom. The prelate had been calling for an end to the worrisome situation of the people in Nigeria. Myanmar's Cardinal Charles Bo, the head of the Federation of the Asian Bishops' Conference, exhorted fellow bishops to walk in the footsteps of St. Thomas the Apostle, St. Francis Xavier, and many others who offered their service in the integral evangelization ministry. He made this appeal during the inaugural address of the General Conference of the FABC in the Thai capital of Bangkok on October the 12th. 200 delegates from 29 Asian nations are meeting until October the 30th, under the theme of journeying together as peoples of Asia. The Cardinal said the task ahead of the Church in Asia is to make this a century of Jesus' good news to the whole continent. The General Conference is also marking the Golden Jubilee of the formation of the Bishops' Conference. And those are your latest headlines. Do join us again tomorrow for more. And remember, you can also visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.